Hello, I'm just looking at the people just joining now. I see a lot of new names coming up. And for those that are new to CTAPEX, we will be starting very shortly. But those of you that are new to us, we invite you to become our clients. We invite you to visit our website, ctapex.org, and click on Request Assistance. All our services are free of cost. All right, good morning. And thank you for taking the time to invest in building your government contracting knowledge. As CT Apex, part of our mission is helping businesses strengthen their position in the government industrial base, GIB, especially at the state and local levels. Becoming GIB ready means understanding how to navigate procurement systems, identifying opportunities, and building the confidence to compete. Today's sessions ConnectiCourse Essentials, CTSource Essentials, finding and bidding on state and contracting opportunities is part of that work. And joining us from CTDAS is Shelley Oros. Shelley, thank you for taking the time to join us today, and want you to know that CT Apex very much values our relationship with you and your team. And I'll ask you to introduce yourself and tell us about yourself before you start your section. My name is Marisa Herrera, and I'm part of a team of procurement specialists here at CT Apex. Just again, all our services are provided at no cost. Next slide, please. So before we get into the content, we'd love to get a sense of who's in the room. So I'm going to ask my colleague Emma to launch a quick poll that we prepared for you. So she's going to kick that off. And the first question is here, where are you in your state contracting journey? So please take a moment to respond. There is no right or wrong answer, and this just helps us understand who you are and to tailor the session today. I'll give you a second for that question. The next question is, are you currently registered in CTSource? If you're unsure whether your profile is complete, you're not alone. Just choose the response that feels most accurate right now. And the third question is, what has been your biggest challenge with state contracting? You may recognize more than one. Just click on the biggest challenge that you've experienced. So I'll give you a few seconds for that. And just know that overall, CT Apex is here to assist with any of these challenges moving forward. Okay, Emma, when you're ready, let me know and we'll proceed to. All right, so we're seeing some of the responses, and it looks like we have a mix. And just know that you're not in this alone. We are here to assist you wherever you are. And this information will take back and be better at responding and serving you as a CT Apex client. This is nice. Not surprising. Thank you for that. And let's go back. Let's continue. All right. So CT Apex is funded in part through a cooperative agreement with the Department of War with matching funds from the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development. We're hosted by Southeastern Connecticut Enterprise Region Sector, and our role is to help businesses understand how to sell their products and services to the federal, state, local, and tribal governments. Next slide, please. We operate statewide with multiple locations. I'm joining you today from our headquarters in Groton. Having a regional presence allows us to stay accessible to you and really understand the needs of businesses in each part of the state. Next slide. We provide hands-on tailored support at every stage. That includes one-on-one counseling, helping with things like registrations, proposal development, and compliance. We also offer trainings like today, covering everything from cybersecurity to certifications. We help position businesses through market research and capability statements. And just as important, we connect businesses to buyers through networking and matchmaker events. Next slide, please. We work closely with partners like Connecticut DAS, as well as federal, state, and industry partners. These relationships allow us to connect you to the right opportunities, resources, and networks. Next slide. At CTAPEX, what sets us apart is our broad perspective. We don't just focus on the Department of War or one federal agency. We help businesses explore opportunities across federal, state, and municipal levels. This gives our clients a more complete view of the contracting landscape and helps them pursue opportunities that truly align with their capabilities and their goals. We encourage you to follow us on LinkedIn and sign up for our newsletters. That is where we share opportunities, trainings, and upcoming events. Now I'm going to transition it over to Shelley from CTDAS. But before you begin, Shelley, please tell us about yourself.
Okay, let me see if I can share really quick. All right, are you seeing my first slide?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Marisol, for having me here today. We appreciate so much our partnership with CTAPEX. We do a lot together. We do a lot of training. We're at events together a lot, and we offer a clinic once a month over in Hartford for our small business certification. So we really appreciate that. So my background, my name is Shelley Orris again. My background, I actually have a varied background. I was a business owner for a number of years, about 15 plus years with a partner. And I also worked at the Women's Business Center. Then I transitioned into the Women's Business Center over at the University of Hartford for several years. And now I transitioned for the last few years. I've been working with the state of Connecticut with the procurement division. So it's given me a real broad understanding of, of those different spheres. And I was really excited to take my prior experience and move into the, more of the opportunity realm. So, and one of my favorite parts of my job is getting out and training, trying to share some of this knowledge with other business owners, because from my own experience, I remember how vital this was. Before I start, the poll was great, and the last question, I just started reading that one, and I was really curious. I thought that might be helpful to understand where people are having issues as I'm sharing today.
Would you like me to repeat that question?
Or do you just have some of the answers? Maybe you could give me a synopsis real quick, or...
Sure. Let's see. Emma, are you able to pull those results for Shelley? I'm just going to refresh everyone's memory a little bit for question number 3. There it is. Thank you. So that was, what has been your biggest challenge with state contracting? And the options were finding the right opportunities. So that's where the majority, 41%, responded. And then understanding the bidding process, 21%, navigating CTSource at 14%. And then I'm not sure where to start, and it's 24%.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Well, we are going to at least touch on those topics today. So, and I'll definitely, I think, Marisol, we'll answer questions at the end, and you'll go through those with me, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, perfect. So let me give my current intro now. I'm now part of the business access team with the DAS procurement division. And our division is the one that manages most of the contracts for the state of Connecticut agencies. And those are the contracts, this is important, these are the contracts that agencies use to purchase all the products and services that they need in order to get through daily operations. Our team is out in the community. We do a lot of trainings. We offer clinics. We go do community outreach. Then we're also in the office managing several. We manage our certifications. We have our fingers in a lot of different parts of this process. And that is because our division and our procurement division is very committed to getting more businesses involved in state contracting. And so we believe to do that, we need to get out and educate in addition to, to doing our work in the office. So today we're going to go over the essentials of CTSource. So CTSource, this is the state of Connecticut's contracting portal. And contracting with the state starts here. It starts with submitting a strong bid proposal. So what happens is that businesses will submit a proposal in response to a solicitation, something that aligns with the products or services that they offer. And then awarded vendors are added to the contract, and state agencies can then make purchases from that contract. There is a myth that there's a list that you need to be on to work with the state. The only list would be the list on a contract, right? Every contract goes through a process of identifying and awarding vendors based on this competitive solicitation process. So the whole process, the solicitation and the contracting process is managed right here on CTSource. And so we have 3 sections we'll go over today. We have the registration section, the bid board, and the contract board. So before submitting a proposal, you of course have to find the right opportunity. And there's a few different ways to do that, and I'll go over all of those today, but the best is really to register for CTSource, and you will get up-to-date, you'll get emails with up-to-date opportunities as they post. So the state, municipalities, and other political subdivisions, like quasi-agencies, post their solicitations here. So we often, on a daily basis, have new opportunities posting here. We also have regional and national opportunities when we participate in those. And you can find out about all of those through CTSource. After registering, and I'll go through that process, you'll receive an email each time an opportunity posts that's related to what you sell. And this is really important because solicitations, usually they're open for a couple weeks, a few weeks. It depends upon the solicitation, but some are only open, the shortest is 5 days. So with that in mind, it's important to learn about these opportunities as soon as possible so you have time to work on them. Registration is pretty simple. It just requires a few items. You need your business legal name, and that would be as it is presented on your tax return, not your DBA, but your actual legal name. You need your taxpayer ID, which would be either your federal employer identification number. We also do accept Social Security number. We do not recommend that businesses do business with their Social Security number. An EIN is easy and free to obtain, and much safer, right, than sharing your personal information. But we do accept both. You will need your main contact information. Think about who should be receiving these emails. And then you need to input your commodity and service codes. And I'll go over that on the next slide, because if you don't input those, you will not get any emails. No opportunities will go to you because we won't know what opportunities you're interested in, or the system will not know. So it is pretty simple. It takes about 20 minutes to get through, maybe 15, right, to get through this application. It's fairly straightforward. You know, there was nothing too complicated that you needed for this. I'm going to show you this final page, though. This is where you're going to choose your commodity codes. So we use what are called UNSPSC codes, very similar to NAICS codes. Each code, it will refer either to a category, like a commodity category, or to an individual product or service. So we suggest that you choose a mix of both, right? You want some higher categories, and then you also want some nitty-gritty, detailed products and service codes. You'll see the search bar right there at the top. It's easy because you'll just put in your keywords, right? And you can, a list will come up, a related list will come up. You just put a check mark there on available categories. It'll move over to the right to selected categories. And then you can always go back in and make changes. You just uncheck to take things off, do more searching. If you add new income streams, or maybe if you realize you missed something. So this is always accessible to update, and we encourage you to keep this updated. Because as I said, you will only get opportunities that are related to the codes that you choose. Returning to the main CTSource board, we're going to move on to the next section, which is the bid board. And I am actually going to do a live demo here. Marisol, I just want to make sure you're seeing this correctly. Are you seeing the bid board now?
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay, perfect. So this is another way. Remember I said there's a few different ways you can find out about opportunities. One is through your email. I'll be honest, sometimes a lot of emails come in because we tend to cast a wide net, right? So you might get a lot of emails. Many are not related. Hopefully some are, but another way to look for opportunities is to go on this bid board and do a search. So I'm going to show you first. I'm going to show you how to do the search, and then we'll do some keywords that will hopefully be specific to folks that are with us today. So let's see. I'm going to start up here in the search bar. You're going to put in your search term. I'm going to put in water because that is one that always has something related to it. So you'll see for water, there's 1,496 matching solicitations, a few more than I want to look through. So this is where I come over to the filter here, and there are a lot of different opportunities for me to narrow my search. The first is up here with select organization. If you want all organizations, then just leave this checked, leave as is, and you'll get everything. But if you only want specific organizations, there are quite a few options here. We have boards, commissions, and councils. There are different, you can get all cities, or you could get specific cities and municipalities. There's colleges, constitutional office, executive branch. You'll see there's quite a few. But today I'm going to cancel this because I want to see everything. Now, another is status. If you just want to see what's out there, what has, what's come through in the past, you might want to leave this open and include everything, right? There's awarded, canceled, under evaluation. But for today, I'd rather just see what are some current opportunities that are happening now. So I'm going to check open. there's also different bid types, request for proposal and invitation to bid. Those are two that we use quite a bit. And then down here we have commodities. This is another way you can, of course, put your commodity up there in the search bar, or you can actually look for specific commodities. There's a second search bar down here, and then you can check out any of those. But I'm going to just look at open ones right now. So I apply filter, and there's quite a few. Let's see, we have 31 matching solicitations. And I'm going to just show you through this. I'll use this opportunity here, the one Wyndham Water Works. So you see here, there's a little lightning bolt. That means that the bid is about to end, right? So if this is one that you're interested in, you'll see the end date right down here. This one actually ends in just a couple of days, May 8th. The other, you see this little arrow. This is another, this just means that the solicitation has been amended. So if it's one you looked at before, you may want to see what has changed. They do often, amendments are very common. Now we'll open up, and here over on the right side, we have the contact information. So this over here, the contact information, this is the only person you should reach out to. They may or may not be able to address questions depending on what they are, but this is the person that manages it. Questions, I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but questions often, we often have a question and answer period. So you'll actually, if you have questions, you would go into the solicitation itself, and there will be a specific part of CTSource where you can submit your questions, and that way, that's actually a really cool feature because everybody can see everybody's questions and everybody can see everybody's answers. That's a really important part of competitive and a competitive process, right? Everybody has to have the same information. It's very important, which is why generally if you reach out directly, they won't be able to answer a question. We are very careful to make sure that everyone's on the same playing field. Here on the left here, we have a description, a short description. You have the start date and the end date. End date is really important, right? The status, this one is currently open. And then if you go down here to the bottom, you'll see all the solicitation attachments. So we have different documents that you can download. Let's see. So, oops, why don't I, oops, lost the, all right. Marisol, do you have a couple of keywords you'd like me to look for, see if we can find?
Yes, we have a nice mix of businesses in the room today, from marketing to professional services to construction to IT. So let me check. Eeny, meeny, miny. Let's try construction services. Shelley, let's see if we can search for construction opportunities. And some of the keywords that we tend to use includes construction services, engineering services, electrical services, lighting installation. What do you recommend?
Well, this is the great thing about this search, the search bar. Let's try a broader one first, right? Construction services. Excuse me. Spring and asthma. That's why I've got my hot tea here.
Take your time. I just got through a bad bout.
Oh, the fun of spring, right?
Oh my goodness.
Thank goodness it's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so one thing you'll notice is every time I put in a new search term, I'll have to, if I unfortunately I have to narrow it again, go through and fill out the filter again if I want to narrow it.
Mhm.
But let's see. So we have construction services, we have about 10,000 opportunities here. And if we just look at open, we still have 202 opportunities. So we could look through those, right? We have a invitation to bid for construction services for a new roof, invitation to bid for an elevator modernization. It's still quite a few to go through, right? 202. So let's look again. Let's try narrowing. You can narrow that search with the filter, right? But you can also narrow it right up there in that search term. So let's look for engineering. And I think I'm gonna, rather than the word services, I'm just gonna put engineering in and see what comes up. All right. And here we have 2013. So let's just do the open ones and apply the filter. And we have on-call design engineering services. We have civil engineering consulting services. Um, we have crumbling foundation. Again, you can look through this and see, you can either look through all 43 of these. That 43 isn't too many. That may be worthwhile. Or you could go down here to commodities
Mhm.
and do a little, I'm wondering what would come up for engineering. Let's see. So we have a lot of commodities, architectural engineering, electrical and electronic engineering. So you see there's quite a bit here. Um,
Mhm.
And then if I wanted to, let's see, civil engineering consulting services, again, this is where if I'm interested in this opportunity, this is the first place to look. There's a second place you're going to go, but this is just right now, we're just looking for opportunities, right?
Mhm.
You can open it up and read through it, right? Get more detail here.
Right.
See the solicitation attachments that are available.
Mhm.
But let's see, you also said electrical. Why don't I look
Mhm.
for
And
electrical?
Shelley, I just want to add that CTAPEX, it's great to see CTSource is shows you what's available. CTAPEX, and I want the audience to know, our businesses in the room to know that CTAPEX helps you decide what's worth pursuing and how to win. So this can
Absolutely.
Right, right. We want to make sure that your capabilities truly align to the opportunities that you're interested in. So I just wanted to make sure that they know that they're not alone. Do not become overwhelmed. When we meet with you, we will help narrow down the search even more. But this is an opportunity to see that yes, there's opportunities for you in your industry out there. Thanks, Shelley. Continue.
Yes. Yeah, and that's such a good point. I'm going to actually reinforce that message you just gave at the end of my presentation
Okay,
because we really count on our partners, right?
right.
We can only help so much because we have to be, we have to have that distance and be fair to everyone.
Right.
Um, we count on our partners to do that, to, roll up your sleeves and really help businesses with that competitive solicitation process. So
Mhm.
strongly recommend that people take advantage of that. Um, let's see, I'm going to do one more and then I'll go on. Electrical here. So we have 1,152 matching solicitations. If I do open, we just have 9 solicitations here. And actually, let me show you one thing. I could also use this for research. Why don't I, for the electrical, I might just want to look at awarded, right?
Mhm.
That's another way to I can not just look for current opportunities, but I might want to look at opportunities that have passed already and see what type of, there's a lot of value in doing research, and to see what type of bids there have been and what was included in those bids. So I'm going to come back and do another live demo for the oops, for our contract board, but right now let me continue. All right, so we have covered two different ways to find solicitations, registering in CTSource and searching on the bid board. But once you find a solicitation that you're interested in bidding on, you're going to log back into CTSource and you're going to review the solicitation details, and then you're going to submit your proposal. So remember, you can use the bid board for some research, but if you are interested, if you talk to your Apex advisor and you feel like, okay, I'm ready for this opportunity, this is where you're going to come to your supplier dashboard. So I will point out just a few things here. We have the message board. It's got some reminders and some helpful hints. Up in the top right, there's a need help link. There's online, phone, email, and the online actually includes some great demos, including videos on how to use CTSource. And there is also a solicitations link up in that top left-hand corner. And that is actually the third place you can go to search for solicitations. There is a drop down where you can actually go into what's open right now, right? What is open that is related to those UNSPSC codes that you chose. So I'm going to, for anybody that attended last week, the next two slides are going to be a little bit of a recap, but they are related, very related to CTSource and the whole bid process. So if anyone, I wanted to make sure we covered this today for anyone that didn't come last week. And also if you did, these definitely bear some reinforcement. These are very important. Before developing a proposal, you need to assess, do you have the capacity to complete that contract work? And not just that, but can you demonstrate it? So demonstrating capacity, you are going to need to provide evidence of relevant experience. So at DAS, we have made a very diligent effort to try to make it easier for companies to qualify for bids. So one of the ways we did this is we allow relevant experience. It can either be demonstrated by your business, your actual business, or the experience of company principals. And not always, right? But where possible. Every solicitation is different. Honestly, every single solicitation is different. But where possible, we allow the company principals, because this allows newer businesses or maybe a business that brought on a new principal and they're adding a new income stream, right? Another place that we try to make it more accessible is with equipment. Where possible, you do not have to own the equipment, but you do have to have access to it. So this is another important, these are two really important pieces. Do you have relevant experience and can you demonstrate it, and do you have the equipment? Third, and this is definitely where this is one where business advisors come in are so important, right? They can really help you with this third one, making sure you have the financial capacity to work on a government project, because you are going to have to be able to, can you go for a while without being paid before you'll get your payment, right? But you have to be able to pay yourself and your workers meanwhile. And then finally, we strongly recommend include your capability statements with bids. It's usually not required, but it's a great way to just an add-on, your capability statement, any certifications you have, whether it's with our state, Connecticut, with another state, these can provide some added value. Next, we're going to go over reviewing requirements, because of course, you need to make sure you can meet the bid requirements, but also look through the awardee requirements. Because if you win the bid, you're going to have to be able to fulfill these, right? First is insurance. Make sure you're working with the right insurance company that they can cover the required insurance. You may want to consider legal representation. If you do, make sure they have public sector contract. That's different from private. If there's an opportunity for negotiation. Usually there is not, but if there is, they can help with that. But one thing they can always help with is making sure you understand the contract terms, right? I was raised by a lawyer. Never sign. It was like grilled into me. Never sign anything that you do not understand every single word in it. And that is very, very sage advice when it comes to a contract for your business. Um, Indemnification. This is an important term. And this is one you would, you can speak with a lawyer about. Your company, every state of Connecticut contract requires that the awarded vendors accept liability for acts of omission. So you want to make sure you understand that. And then finally, we use a system called Procurated now. It's like Yelp or Amazon review, right? But it's a public sector supplier review site. So we are going to review your work on this site so that in future, all of our Connecticut procurement agencies or our procurement offices have access to this, but across the country they will also have any that use Procurated will have access to this. So you want to make sure you got some positive reviews. Now, this next slide, this is new, didn't go over this last week, and this is specifically about submitting a proposal. There are several very common errors that businesses make when submitting a solicitation proposal. These are going to sound simple, but we went to our contract specialists and asked, where are people having the biggest trouble, right? And most important, read the solicitation. Read it again, right? Read it before you submit, right? You want to make sure that you understand everything. There's attachments, there's a questionnaire section, evaluation criteria. You really want to understand the full scope of requirements before you put time into submitting a proposal. Take advantage of the Q&A period. I mentioned this briefly prior. It's important that if there is a question and answer period, often there is, that is the only place and the only time that you can ask questions in whatever format is detailed on CTSource under that solicitation opportunity. And that is again so that everybody has the same information. So whether or not you ask questions, if there is a Q&A period, make sure that you go in there and check that out, because even if you don't ask questions, other people are going to ask questions, and you want to make sure you have those answers because that'll give you some clarity. Proof your proposal, right? It seems straightforward, but a lot of errors happen that you can catch during that proofing. Again, read it again, right? Read the instructions, read your response. Make sure that you've really truly answered all those questions. Make sure you're using the required formats and the structures, that you've uploaded everything, verified your formulas, your calculations, right? And then finally, don't change anything, right, on the bid forms. Don't substitute items unless the solicitation specifically allows it. If it does not say that you can make changes or substitutions, then you may not, right? All right, so we are going to go over our CTSource contract board, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through and show you how to do the search. I'm going to show you some features on each of the on the contracts themselves, and then take a few suggestions. So let's see. Let's go over to the contract board, and actually this time, let's look. It's similar in that, see, we have this this search board. Ugh. Oh, I need a little water. We have a search bar at the top here, and I'm going to look for media. So over here, we have a similar filter right? In that you can narrow your search. Um, you may or may not want to narrow your search, right? Because this is a great place to look expired, canceled, active. You might want to, this is a great place to do research. But for today's purposes, I'm going to just look at active. You can also look at types, different authorizations, particularly if you may or may not be interested in some of these. Um, let's see, we have different organizations and we have different commodities. So I'm just going to look at active for the search term media. I'm going to apply the filter. And one of the cool things here is I can preserve the filter. So if I want to, generally each time you change your search terms at the top, it's gonna, on the bid board, you lose all of your filter settings. On the contract board, we've got a preserve filter, which is great. Makes it helpful for doing research. All right, so I am going to look for our current, actually this right here, media marketing and public relations services. This is our current media marketing contract. So over here, we have a little description of what it encompasses. We have over here the contract administrator. This is the only person that can answer questions about this contract for you. Let's see. We have right here the expiration date. So this is important. Remember, I said that this is a great place to do research. And one of the things you can do is be looking for future opportunities. So contracts do include, every contract has an expiration date. In the year or so prior to this date, you want to keep an eye out for the new solicitation. Now, there's no guarantees. It might be extended, it might not be renewed. But it at least it gives you kind of a working number. All right. Another option, and this is a gold mine right down here at the bottom. We have all these attachments. We have all the contract documents. If you are putting together a bid proposal, this is a gold mine of information for you. It includes, it can include, this one includes a price schedule, includes all of the contract documents. This is absolutely invaluable when you're pulling together your proposal. Now, you can also use it potentially to find subcontracting opportunities. Right here, we have all of the current awarded vendors on this contract, right? We have quite a few. I think there's 50 on this. I'll show you one of the things here. We have this little people here. If a company is certified in our small business certification program, and we have a little icon here. So you can see that. We also include all of the contact information for every awarded vendor. And now, not every contract allows for some contracting, but some do. So if you believe that you have something to, that you would like to work with with one of these companies, this could be a great place to reach out and offer your products or services. Now, there are a couple of other ways to identify subcontracting opportunities. I'll just mention these really quickly. If some solicitations do require attendance at a pre-bid meeting. So even if you are not going to bid on an opportunity, particularly if subcontracting is required, that's a great place to go, and you can meet all of the prime contractors who will be bidding on the opportunity and connect with them. Now, if there's no pre-bid, you have to do a little more legwork. But you generally know who are the prime contractors in your industry. And if you see an opportunity, you can reach out to a prime contractor and see if they're going to go to bid on it, and ask them, see if you can work with them on it. Now, there is one final recommendation for using the contract board. This is specifically towards dealers. You remember I mentioned there were some different authorizations here. So if you're a dealer, you may want to filter for piggyback or co-op contracts. That way you can find an active contract related to what you sell and look through the suppliers and reach out to them, right? You may find a manufacturer that you could partner with and become a Connecticut-based dealer. Marisol, do you have a couple of search terms you'd like me to look for here?
Sure, let's search for, we have businesses that are in IT space, let's say software development. How about some maybe cybersecurity?
Ah, that's a good one. Let's do cybersecurity. One contract found. Oh, wait, remember the preserve filter.
Mhm.
All right, so all right, well, two contracts. Isn't that interesting? We have one canceled and one active. So this would be, let's see, this would be the current contract that we have. Atlantic Data Securities Catalog for cyber security, hardware, software services. Interesting.
And we can see the value. Oh, it's,
Yeah. Oh,
we can see the value as
yes.
well.
Yep. Yep. You can see the value.
And
There's quite a bit of.
the expiration date is there. We often bring that to our clients' attention so we can get ready for when it does expire and be ready to respond if there's a next solicitation.
Yep. Let's see. I wonder what'll come up if I just do IT. Sometimes you just play around with different
Yeah.
keywords too, right? Marisol, I'm sure you and your team do a lot of playing around with keywords, right?
Mhm.
So if I just put in IT, I get 1,728 opportunities. So I don't know, let's try IT software. We've got 1,000. I wonder what happens if we get rid of the word IT. Let's see, software. If we just do software, we have 80, we have 122 matches, we have 82 active contracts related to software. And I see here like software for permit and parking data, right? Enterprise learning management system, grant manager software. We have quite a bit of different details. We have some master agreements here, right? Master agreements you may be interested in reaching out to the vendor on a master contract.
Yeah.
Let's
This
see.
business intelligence that you can gather from here is just so, so valuable. And so that our businesses know we're here to assist you free of cost, and we are subject matter experts in doing this. So please keep this in mind that this is so important in your business development journey.
All right. So we are, I've gotten through the presentation, but I want to share just a few resources with you. So our business, our website, we work hard to make sure we have as much detail as possible on our website. And I just want to show you, if you go to our business access page, you scroll down to here, explore opportunities to do business with the state, and if you click visit state contracting portal, there's a wealth of information on this page about CTSource, right? A wealth of information, including links to get into the bid board and the contract board. Oops. All right. I also want to and reinforce Marisol's um, message about working with business organizations such as Apex. I mean, to move forward in contracting, they are invaluable. We strongly recommend that people work with one of our partners. They can help you at any stage that you're in. And often these partners work together, right? There's a wonderful ecosystem of business organizations in Hartford. Remember, I used to work for one for a number of years. I worked for one of the women's business centers, and absolutely invaluable. They can help assess your readiness for government contracting and help position your business for competitiveness. And here is our contact information. Please, if you have any questions, check our website first, but definitely reach out through email too. We are very, very good at answering our emails, and we offer services in both English and Spanish. But I see we have some questions, so I want to try to at least get through a couple of them. Marisol, did you want to?
Right. Great. Thank you for that, Shelley. With all that information, our first question comes to us. When is the next training in Hartford? We're looking to get more immersed and use the MBE, WBE certifications.
So if you go to our website, we have a link to our calendar of opportunities that are coming up.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's the best place to look. We have we have a lot coming up. So look through that calendar.
All right. And you also contact your primary counselor so that I'm sure she can also help you with that as well. The next question comes and it's regarding I am not an MBE or WBE. Does that prevent me from bidding on certain contracts?
Absolutely not. Yeah. No.
Thank you.
There's no there's no restriction on that
All right. Next
currently.
question. I went to the CTSource site to register and the link to register does not function as designed. How can I get my company registered?
If you're having issues, then reach out to, you'll see the first email here, das.ctsource@ct.gov. There is a specific team for CTSource and they can help you if you're having issues. They're great as well.
Thank you for that. The next question is, can I have someone review my capability statement? Yes. Please reach out to your primary counselor at CTAPEX. That's what we do. We help develop capability statement and tailor it to whether it's for the state or federal or municipality. So yes, please reach out to your primary counselor. And if you don't know who that is, feel free to reach out to me. And I'll make sure you get the email. I got the list of all the attendees today. The next question is regarding logging into CTSource. And Shelley, I will refer them again to the first email address.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, the das.ctsource@ct.gov. They can help you.
We got a quick question. Could you please repeat what a lawyer should be familiar with?
Well, I would say public, you want to, if you choose to work with a lawyer, they need to have public sector experience. And indemnification was one of the most important words to understand, right? Make sure you understand what that word means.
All right. Another question comes to us. All right, so a couple are regarding searching for opportunities. Please reach out to your primary counselor. We're here to assist with that. Finding bid opportunities is one step. Deciding whether to bid and how, that's where CT Apex is here to support you best. And trainings. Right now, the trainings are offered in Hartford. Do you have any trainings in the Fairfield County, Shelley?
We don't have any clinics coming up in Fairfield, but most of our trainings are actually webinars. Yeah, most of our trainings, it's usually just our clinics that are in person. And we don't currently have any, but keep your eyes peeled because I know we are planning on planning some more clinics for the fall. So hopefully we'll get a little further out in the state.
Great. And I do have one more thing to share. I just want to check in with our businesses in the room right now. So I'm going to ask my colleague Emma to just, let's continue. We have a quick poll again, just to get a check-in on how everyone is feeling. So Emma, when you are ready, the next question we're going to ask you is, after today's session, how confident do you feel using CTSource? I just want to do this quickly before we wrap up. And just be honest here, this just helps us understand how to best support you. So please keep those responses coming. The next one is, do you see your business as part of the government supply chain? All right, so there's no pressure for this one, just your first selection, whatever you would like to respond. The next question is, would you like a CTAPEX counselor to follow up with you for one-on-one support? And our last question is, would you like to receive today's video recording and additional resources? All right, and we very much thank you for engaging in these polls. It really helps make these sessions more useful and relevant. We do take back your responses to better serve you in the future and to better respond to you here. We have those of you that attended, and we're glad you're here. So Emma, whenever you're ready, if you can share the results, that would be great. All right, so for the first question after today's session, Shelley, so that you'll know, and Shelley, I'll make sure to get you these responses as well.
Thank you.
So we have a couple seconds left. Next slide, please. We have some upcoming foundational readiness GovCon sessions coming up. And I believe it might be, want to make sure we get the the next SAM.gov MBE SBE clinic out to everyone too. So we have some upcoming trainings that are open and free of cost to all businesses. Please visit our website, scan that QR code, and yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you all again in the near future. And Shelley, thank you for spending time with us. As always, a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marisol.
Everyone have a great rest of your day. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Marisol Herrera, here at Connecticut Apex Accelerator.